Bishop Dwenger at Cathedral. This is always one of the big games statewide on Bishop Dwenger's schedule. Not all records are created equal. Going into this one. Cathedral is 1-4. You're talking about they lost to Ben Davis, Warren Central. Those are probably the two best historic-wise teams in the entire state.
Yeah.
Talking about top-notch 6A programs. They beat Chittard. They lost to St. X. They lost to Louisville Trinity. They have played an absolutely ridiculously hard schedule. They were 1-3 last week, and they were ranked 5th in the state in 5A.
And they are still my number one team in 5A. They've been my number one team all year in the AP poll, my voting. They're going to stay that way because as long as they beat the teams they should, which they should beat Dwenger this week. They have 4 losses. Those 4 losses were to teams they lost to last year. They breezed to the 5A title. So I'm not put off by losses like you mentioned to Ben Davis, Warren Central, St. X, Trinity. Those are all powers. And Cathedral is still going to be there in the 5A playoffs. And this is a big game for Dwenger because you look at the second half of this schedule, and it's just brutal. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have said, oh, my gosh, Dwenger's going to lose 5 straight to go into the postseason. I'm not ready to say that. But at the same time, these losses really start piling up. And all of a sudden you're sitting there under 500 going to the playoffs if you don't watch it. But this is a big game for Dwenger to go down there and at least be competitive against Cathedral.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the schedule has gotten tougher for Dwenger in recent weeks. They only scored 7 against LaSalle. They only scored 14 last week against Wayne, and a Wayne defense that got exposed the week before by Bishop Luers. But I think the key thing is they have 4 turnovers against Wayne. Very un-Saint-like football in that they are a team that doesn't generally beat themselves.
Yeah.
So how much of a concern is that? Because they had a lot of turnovers. They looked kind of sloppy in the second quarter against LaSalle the week before. How do they turn that around? Because that's not really their MO offensively.
Yeah, stability at the quarterback position is big right now for Dwenger. I really don't know what direction they're going right now. I think Coach Schwarzkopf may be trying a couple different things to see who can settle that position down. Because right now Dwenger is not much of a big time vertical threat. And they have outstanding running backs, but when teams are able to say, okay, we're going to stack the box or we're going to single cover your wide receivers because we don't think you can get it downfield with any effectiveness, all of a sudden, though, the advantages of those running backs is taken away. So Dwenger really needs to find more balance offensively here in the next couple weeks, but with the caliber of teams they're playing, it's going to be really tough. So I think that's the position to watch for Dwenger this Friday, is how that quarterback spot looks against some top-flight competition and see if they can really get some synergy at that position.